Honored to stamp the first one of a new generation of upgraded weapon we're working on right now. The people working in that facility very proud of what they're doing and critical to our future. Toured earlier today around where the next generation nuclear is going to be built here in Tennessee. Tennessee has been a leader in nuclear technology, energy, research for medical applications, and so many other areas. And we're seeing that happen on the ground in reality. Let me tell an analogy. Where we were earlier today in Y-12 and all of this Oak Ridge area, more than half of the expenditures in the Manhattan Project were right here in this valley. We know about Los Alamos and the weapons design, but those new materials that had really never been created or worked with before, those materials and the innovations to make those materials were done right here in Tennessee. The Manhattan Project was really an urgent race with incredible consequences. Nazi Germany, where the atom was first fissioned and understood right as the war started, had a similar project to develop an atomic weapon. Imagine the world today if the Nazis developed atomic weapons before the United States. That's a very different world. But the United States won the race in Manhattan Project to develop the weapons here, bring that war to an early conclusion, saving tens of thousands of American lives, and setting us up to win in the Cold War. We've seen continued technology, innovation, advancement in the United States of America, but we're at a critical time again right now where another technology of simply immense import is hitting critical mass and is going to change our world in the next several years. That's artificial intelligence. There's a race. China has huge resources. They are massively focused on artificial intelligence. We think of artificial intelligence for the consumer products and making us smarter and making things done more efficient. The applications are way beyond that as well. Artificial intelligence is likely going to enable the main project advancements in basic science coming up. Think where medical technology is going, where energy technology is going, where defense technology is going. We're at the start of Manhattan Project 2. It is critical, just like Manhattan Project 1, that the United States wins this race. Critical. We could lose this race many ways. If we don't get energy right, if we don't unleash American energy, we can't win the race for artificial intelligence. If we don't unleash American innovation and American entrepreneurs and American construction and bold moves, we will lose Manhattan Project 2. The reason I'm confident we're going to win the Manhattan Project 2 is President Trump's leadership. He got elected to unleash American energy, unleash American innovation, unleash the bold moves and investments it's going to take to win Manhattan Project 2. And again, proud to be standing up here with Greg Brockman, co-founder of OpenAI, one of the key leaders in this artificial intelligence race. So this is about collaboration, this is about Tennessee, and this is about Oak Ridge. And on that note, let me turn it over to my friend and colleague and great leader from the state of Tennessee, our senator.
Thank you very much. Secretary, thank you, and it's so wonderful to have you here. One of your first major trips as Secretary of Energy, and it's so appropriate that you would be here in Tennessee at Oak Ridge National Lab. And I just want to key off of something that the Secretary said that has to do with the innovative capacity that exists here. There's a reason that the Manhattan Project was done here. There's several. But one is our capacity for innovation, our craftsmanship here. But I think most important of all, it's the patriotism of the people that live here in this part of the world. Tennessee is home to patriots. We can step up and rise to an occasion, a challenge. And President Trump is putting that challenge before us right now. He wants to see us at the cutting edge, not only of AI, but of the energy supply to make that possible. And if I think about what's happened here and what is going to continue to happen from an energy standpoint, the development that we're seeing going on in the nuclear space is a huge baseload for what we need in President Trump's all-of-the-above energy strategy. And if you look at Tennessee, where a little less than 50% of our total capacity is supplied by nuclear today, We have the experience of delivering the most cutting edge, the most stable, the most non-polluting energy source available in the world. We should be cutting that mark wide and large across America. It's a source of competitive advantage for us as a nation, and it is foundational for companies like OpenAI for their success because of the huge energy consumption that they undertake. And if you think about the industries of the future, and if you think about the competitive advantage that we can enjoy as a nation, making America energy independent, making us a leader not only so that we have the cheapest, most reliable source of energy here in America, but that we're in a position to export that energy as a geostrategic tool so that our allies are stronger and their adversaries are left further behind. That's an incredible, incredible innovation that we can drive from right here. So I want to thank the Secretary for being here today to help underscore all of this. I certainly want to thank the President for his leadership, and I want to thank my great colleague, Chuck Fleishmann, who's done so much work here. You're a great partner, Chuck, and I'll hand the mic over to you now.
Thank you, Senator. And Mr. Secretary, welcome to the great state of Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, it is no accident that Secretary Wright has come here. I have worked now with 4 administrations, with Secretaries of Energy, with Departments of Energy. I've been in the House 15 years. Now I am very fortunate to have that coveted position as Chairman of the Energy and Water Subcommittee of Appropriations. In a nutshell, I fund the Department of Energy. But when I spoke with Chris Wright after he was nominated, but before it was confirmed, I said, Mr. Secretary, I fund all of our national labs. I fund the Department of Energy. But the one thing you've got to do early in your tenure is do what I did when I was a young congressman 15 years ago. Visit Oak Ridge. And I know over the past 2 days, Secretary Wright and I and Senator Hagerty have gone where I've gone before, but every time I visit this place, there's something new. In a nutshell, we have 17 wonderful national labs, but Oak Ridge is the premier. Every function a national lab performs, we do it here at ORNL. It's critically important to our nation that we do that. Nuclear energy. Oak Ridge was the birthplace of nuclear energy. New nuclear, whether it's advanced reactors, micro reactors, large reactors. We are doing the research here and around the country, but we're leading here. Supercomputing, materials research, it's all important. The Secretary saw the NNSA facility. In terms of doing his job, over half the budget for the Department of Energy deals with our nation's nuclear arsenal. Right here in Oak Ridge, we have the premier Y-12 facility. We're building the uranium processing facility, which we will complete in about 2030. What will that do? That will ensure that our nation's nuclear arsenal, which is part of NNSA, which is part of the Department of Energy, not the Department of Defense, will remain the strongest, most vibrant, most active, safe nuclear deterrent. What does that mean? That means that China and Russia will never win. What does that mean? That means our friends who do not have and our friends who do have nuclear capabilities with their weapons know that America is back winning again in that realm. Finally, I want to talk with you about something that's near and dear to my heart, and was so pleased when Secretary Wright put that in initiatives. I'm an environmentalist. Legacy cleanup here in Oak Ridge and all across our country. In the Cold War and in the Manhattan Project, what did we do? Unlike today, new nuclear is clean, our weapons process is clean, everything is done right and above boards for our workers and for our environment. But years ago, there was a legacy. It exists in this community and around the country. I am committed to funding cleanup, and we're doing cleanup with the Secretary's help all across the United States, so those affected communities get their land cleaned again and do what we do. Again, Oak Ridge in Tennessee leads. What do we do? On the side of K-12, once the largest building in the world, we took it down clean, under time, under budget. And what do we do? Investing in new nuclear and other industries right here in Tennessee. So there's a partnership between us and the Department of Energy. Bill Hagerty is my appropriation partner in the United States Senate. Bottom line, we are using those fiscal dollars, which are tough to come by. $10 billion. When I started, it was $3. There's $10 billion of solid federal investment right here on this reservation. Mr. Secretary, this is the strongest, brightest, most resilient reservation of any of them, and they're all great. Welcome. Come on back often, and I promise you, in my capacity, because I have the checkbook, we will make sure that you have the resources to get it done. Thank you.
So it's very exciting to be here at Oak Ridge. So today there are 1,000 scientists across the national labs who are using AI tools to accelerate their work, exploring our models to see how they can accelerate science. And this, I think, is one of the most important applications of AI. You know, as the Secretary said, that I think people are starting to see AI in their daily lives through consumer applications like ChatGPT and others. And I think that's really important because people can start to see how AI can benefit them, not just as an abstract idea, but as something very tangible that is going to be part of their daily lives. And I think that advancing science is one of the most important things that we can do to actually benefit everyone. You think about health, like that there's so much improvements that we can make for healthcare and to be able to make it so that anyone who has an ailment or is trying to figure out how to manage a very complex issue, that they have an assistant that is actually like more capable than any one human doctor that's able to see information across a wide variety of different images and different tests, and be able to help get a personalized treatment plan together that is meant just for that person, that is actually able to benefit them. And I think that this idea of having technology lift up everyone, that's very American. And I think that America leading in AI is so critical. And so, you know, the Secretary, I've heard him say that what AI is it's actually manufacturing energy into intelligence. And when we started OpenAI, I thought we would just be a software business, but it's turned out that you need computational power, you need energy, and so we've actually started to become much more of a construction business. And again, this is something that is so important for America. It creates lots of jobs and lots of opportunity for everyone. And so I think that one of the most important things for America and American leadership in AI is national willpower to actually want to succeed, to want to be leaders in AI. And that's one place that I've seen Secretary Wright and President Trump's leadership is absolutely critical to actually succeed and for America to continue to lead in artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Questions?
Let's do it.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you for visiting. I had a question about the hundreds of federal workers in Oak Ridge and the thousands of contractors, some of whom are starting to become worried about their job security, some of whom in the reservation may have even received termination letters before they were rescinded. And I'm wondering if you have a message to the federal workforce here in Oak Ridge who are concerned about their job security in light of recent federal cuts.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of news that's made way too much out of way too little. You know, we have an effort, of course, to try to make the federal government more efficient. That means deliver more services more efficiently. That's through processes, that's through whatever. Of course, you'll see some reduction in total headcount. I don't think here at a cutting-edge national lab that's an issue at all. I wouldn't worry about that. I wouldn't worry about that. The goal of this president is to advance our country, unleash energy, unleash innovation, move our country forward, better, stronger, faster.
And President Trump has said he believes the country may be spending too much on nuclear weapons modernization, the kind of work that's happening out at Y-12 or Pantex or Los Alamos. Do you agree with the president that we're spending too much on nuclear weapons modernization, and how do you see that fitting into the larger DOE profile?
Look, President Trump's a businessman. He wants to do things as well as he can. Look, I know him well. He's passionate about our nuclear defense, about our deterrence, and about the United States leading in that. No change in that plan. Does he want things done better or smarter? Yes. Are people here in this valley in Oak Ridge looking at how to be smarter? That's what we talked about yesterday. Hey, how are we going to do this process more efficiently? What about that? What are the innovations? He wants to drive improvement. So do I. So does America. We owe it to the taxpayers to do it.
On that note, are there any particular projects, that research efforts under Secretary Granholm that will change or that will be discontinued?
Look, I'm certainly not here about the past. I'm here about the future. But the policy we have had, and we've been very clear on it, is to grow the supply of affordable, reliable, secure energy. That comes from all different technologies and approaches. But certainly what we're going to do is different from what you've seen in the last 4 years. The headcount at the Department of Energy grew 20% in the last 4 years in the Biden administration. American energy prices got more expensive. American businesses were still looking to locate themselves overseas. We were sending in a message that we're for less energy and we're okay with more expensive and less reliable energy. Today, the message is wildly different. It's we want to deliver more affordable, reliable, secure energy to enable thriving in the United States, to allow Greg Brockman and his partners at OpenAI and other AI companies to win the AI race by building this manufacturing, this energy-intensive manufacturing industry right here in the United States. That's what AI is. We take energy and we manufacture intelligence to make everyone's lives better and our country stronger.
When it comes to AI, is there something that you saw here today in Oak Ridge that maybe you haven't seen anywhere else across the country?
What I see here is innovative scientists and a passion to drive. I heard the history, like they were working on AI in Oak Ridge 12, 15 years ago. It is an old idea. When I was in college, there was all this talk about artificial intelligence. So the ambition has been there for a long time. But the right combination of tools, the innovations, the scale, the power of computing means now is the time where that rubber is meeting the road. You feel that energy and excitement here today. Our next event is we're going to have 1,000 AI scientists working together right now. That's what brought Greg Brockman, co-founder of AI, in town. So yeah, I feel energy, enthusiasm, excitement, and all we want to do is reinforce that this president wants to unleash America. It's easy to lose the AI arms race if we have more top-down control, if we're against energy, if we're against innovation and risk-taking, we wouldn't win the AI arms race. But I think in the climate we have right now, I'm quite optimistic about America's prospects here. But complacency is always your biggest weapon. We need to drive hard, drive patriotically, and drive to win. No, that's a great comment you make there. And that's the way we want to keep it, right? In Germany, we were already in that war. The goal here is if America is strong, as we've been throughout the Cold War, if America is strong and has the best deterrent force, the best intelligence, the strongest industries, that will prevent war. What drives war is when the incumbent power, the leader of the world, becomes weak, loses confidence in itself, and appears to be in decline. That's what draws aggression in. A strong, powerful, leading America keeps it so that the competition with China, which at some levels isn't always cooperative, but that strong competition with China stays as it is today, which is not a war. It's not a war. We need to keep it that way. Winning the AI arms race is a key part of that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, how do you anticipate the Elon Musk-related staff and budget cuts will affect the climate work that gets done here at Oak Ridge?
Look, the Elon Musk effort, Doge effort, again, is to partner with existing players in the government to make the government smarter, leaner, meaner, more efficient, more aware what's going on. Basic fundamental scientific research that's going on at our national labs, of course, is critical. I come in as the new Secretary of the Energy. I've been passionate about science since I was 15 years old. And in fact, I've been speaking on climate change and climate science for 20 years. So what we want to do is take the politics out of science and take the politics out of energy. What's happened with the climate change is the movement has become political. There's the science, and then there's what politicians say, which have become divorced from the science. We're here to bring back common sense.
The science is taking place here, and so my question is, what is the effect of the staff cuts that we all know are happening on that science that's taking place here, not the politics?
I don't think you'll see any reduction in the science that we do regarding climate change or any of these other world's big questions. No change in that.
Did you not say that there is no climate crisis?
Oh, 100%.
Could you elaborate that being somewhat of a contrarian view in the science community? Could you elaborate what you mean by there is no climate crisis?
I would say in the scientific community, it's absolutely not a contrarian view. If you look into the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reports, we haven't seen an increase in the frequency or intensity of hurricanes, floods, drought, storms. Wildfires are on an uptick because we stopped managing our forests. Some common sense means we got to start managing our forests again. Deaths from extreme weather, which is what you hear the press and politicians fear-mongering about, they've declined over 90% in my lifetime as the population's grown. So climate change is a real phenomenon. It's just not even remotely close to the world's biggest problem. And if you read the economic work also published in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reports, you'll see the economists saying exactly that. Climate change is nowhere near as important as education, as free trade, as empowerment. It's a real thing, but nothing in the science of climate change or in the economics of climate change shows it to be the world's biggest problem, and particularly using the word crisis. When you call something a crisis, it means we don't have time to stop and think. We just got to take action. That's exactly the opposite of what climate science says.
We're kind of in the home of public power here with TVA, and I know you were at a TVA site this morning, and TVA's CEO Jeff Fleishmann said he would partner with a private company, maybe an AI developer like OpenAI, to develop nuclear technology. And I'm wondering if you think that kind of partnership with a private company threatens the public energy model, the public power model, and what you're telling utilities that are worried about meeting the electricity demand of their residents when they have a bunch of AI data centers coming into their footprint.
Oh, again, great questions. As we said, if we want to win the AI arms race, we have to win the energy race. We have to grow our energy supply. In the last 4 years, electricity demand in the United States barely grew cumulatively just over 2%, yet we had an over 20% rise in prices. Like, that's a formula for losing for sure. What we need to do is grow American electricity production dramatically, not just for AI, but for reshoring of manufacturing, for other applications of data centers. Progress means more energy consumption. We need to be thoughtful about that. But again, we got to get out of that politics that using energy is bad. Only some energy sources are good. We could follow the model of Germany, where they spent over $500 billion, more than doubled the capacity of their electricity grid, and delivered 20% less electricity at 3 times the price they had 20 years ago. They've deindustrialized their country. We want to do the exact opposite in the United States. But I wouldn't worry about public-private partnerships. We got to find innovative ways to unleash American energy, unleash American innovation. The difference between Manhattan Project 1, which was to develop atomic weapons, no commercial application of that at all, right? That's a government top secret effort only. That's the only entity that will do that. I could say the same thing about basic high energy physics and understanding the basic structure of the universe. That's basic science, that's government. AI, the leaders in the AI arms race are not going to be the American government. It's going to be the American industry. But what the American government has to do is help enable the industry to run fast and hard, not put barriers in way, help with power supply, and use those AI tools to advance our progress in basic science, in our weapons design, in our strategic deterrence. And so this one will truly be, everything about it, a public-private partnership. With AI, it'll be private in the lead.
We've got time for one more question, and I will remind you that there are several speakers, so feel free.
Exactly.
You've done a great job, Secretary.
Well, great, yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
So our adversaries, Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, they don't have to care about intellectual property rights when they're training their models. They can just train them on the entire internet without asking for permission. Do you have any vision or plan to
open it up to, we probably all have thoughts on that, but
I'll answer one aspect of that. And it gets back to the fundamentals of making certain that we created an ecosystem here in America that facilitates innovation well beyond anything that those adversaries that you listed, like North Korea, like Iran, like China, who don't play by the same set of rules. They don't play by the same set of rules because they've been able to get away with theft. They've been predatory at every turn. We need to just turn our back on that and look to the future and be as competitive as we possibly can. Protect where we can, but make innovation and the capacity to innovate our primary goal. That's how we win.